Hello everyone, Bashar here. So I thought it is time to do another of our back to basics videos. So for those of you that are new to the channel, this means I'm going to be talking about something not really very complicated, but still something that people might not understand or get wrong. So in this video, I want to be talking about it's gonna be short video, don't fret. It's gonna be about conversion. So in the game we have a ton of conversion stuff. Lightning arrow converts our damage into lightning, 80% of our physical into lightning or something like that. Blood magic converts our costs into life cost, and so on. So how do these get affected by bonuses, right? So for example, if I convert, so for example, this season, guys, probably the most famous conversion skill is the blood magic keystone. Uh, you know, you have no mana and skill mana costs are converted to life costs, right? But there are, as I said, a lot, right? There is the lightning arrow, there are the grenades that the mercenary uses, right? So damage gets converted into something. It doesn't have to be damage. Cost can be converted as well. So how do bonuses interact with this? So for example, if I have something that increases my mana cost by 10%, will that affect the life cost of my spark? So for example, let's say my spark costs 400 mana, right? And I have 10% increased mana cost. So will my spark cost 440 life or 400 life? Or let's take the example further, and let's say, for the sake of argument, I have also 15% increased life cost. So if I have a spark that costs 400 mana normally, does it get increased by 10% first, gets 440, then gets converted into life cost, then gets increased by 20%, which is, I believe, 88. So that is 532. So will my final cost be 532? Will my final cost be 480? Or, just playing out 400? So to cut the matter short, it will be 480, right? All kinds of conversion treat as if the stat is like that from the get-go. So if I have something that says all skill costs are converted to life cost, any sort of mana cost modifier will not apply, right? And I'm gonna prove it to you now. So that means, for example, if I have 10% increased mana cost, that's not gonna do anything about the cost of my spark. So let's take a look at my spark. It costs 446 life, right? And if I'm correct here,
Yes.
I must keep
so I have this one here, right? Barbaric strength increase 10% increase mana cost of skills. So what I'm saying is this skills cost gets converted into life thanks to blood magic, and then any mana cost modifier just does not apply. I mean, even if I have a 100% cost reduction or 5,000% increased cost, it's not going to do anything. Let's go. So if I'm correct, our spark should remain at 446 life cost. Yep, as you can see, it does not affect it. So any sort of, conversion gets treated like that by the game. So, for example, with blood magic, every skill that you have is treated as if they have that kind of life cost instead of that mana cost, right? Any sort of mana modifier does not apply. So for example, you have lightning arrow, right? If off the top of my head, if I recall, guys, lightning arrow converts like 80% of the physical damage that you deal into lightning damage. So for example, let's say you have a lightning arrow that deals, for the sake of argument again, let's say 1000 damage, right? 1000 physical damage. So 800 of that physical damage gets converted into lightning. Then any sort of lightning modifiers apply, right? Elemental damage, lightning damage, those all apply, right? You also have to factor in the gain, extra damage sort of thing. This stat, if you have any, right? The gain thingy. But the physical bonuses only apply to the remaining 200, right? So you were dealing 1000 damage, 200 is physical, 800 is lightning. The 200 physical receives the bonuses from the physical part, and 800 lightning receives bonuses from the lightning part. And that's why people don't want fire damage or cold damage on their bows, right? Even they are playing lightning arrow, because that fire and that cold do not get converted to lightning. Why? Because you have a lot of lightning damage bonus, right? You wear lightning damage bonus strings, you allocate lightning damage bonuses on your passive tree, and if you have fire damage, that doesn't benefit you at all, right? Because lightning arrow says it converts physical damage. So the fire and the cold do not get converted, and they do not receive the bonuses. They do receive the elemental damage bonuses, however. I mean, if you have elemental damage bonuses, as they are elemental, they receive that. But chaos doesn't receive that either, right? That's why it's not really very popular. That's why, for example, guys, when you are buying against the darkness, the chaos ones are cheaper, right? Because on your tree, right, and on your gear, you might have some elemental damage, and chaos doesn't benefit from that, because chaos is its own thing, right? There is elemental, that which is called fire and lightning. There is physical, and there is chaos, right? Chaos is to the side. It is its own thing, so it doesn't really benefit from that one. So yeah, oops, sorry. That is how conversion works. Again, long story short, the thing that you are converting into becomes the main thing, right? It's as if the part that you are converting doesn't exist. Obviously, you could have not a full conversion, right? So, for example, with this one, I think it's corrupted and removed, yeah. But that Atziri Splendor chest has a modifier that says skills base cost, 50% of the skills base cost get converted into life, right? I mean, that's what it does, right? So for example, my 446 life spark becomes a spark with 223 mana cost and 223 life cost. And then if I allocate this one, that mana cost will increase accordingly, right? So that's about it, how conversion goes. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I will try to answer to the best of my ability as usual. And I'll see you guys in another video. Bye bye.